Hello, this is Arnold. We will have a quick review on TGO, primarily about calculations. And for this video, we'll be discussing about shadows. There are actually two types of shadows. The sharpness of a shadow depends entirely on the size of the light source. So, if the light comes from a single tiny point like a laser or a small LED far away, the shadow is sharp and black like this. Black kayo siya. And that is called our umbra, the region of total darkness. The result is a crisp, well-defined shadow edge. And if the light source has physical width, like a fluorescent tube, the sun, or a frosted bulb, the shadow gets fuzzy. So this is our fuzzy here. And then we have the umbra and the penumbra. So the umbra is the dark center where no light reaches, and then the penumbra, the fuzzy outer ring, where some light reaches, or it is also known as partial shadow. So the result is soft, blurry edges. So again, our two types of shadow are the point source and the extended source. So what is the formula for our shadows? So in the optics exam, shadows problems are really just geometry problems. So triangles, triangles, triangles. So the formula for our shadows is only A over B, or altitude over B, base, and then altitude sa isa ka triangle aside, and then base sa katong same triangle. So scenario 1, a light source is 50 centimeters away from a surgical tool. The tool is 10 centimeters long. The wall is 150 centimeters away from the light source. So how big is the shadow? So what you're going to do is to actually illustrate para mas makabalo ka. So the tool is 10 centimeter long. So let's have here the surgical tool nato is 10 centimeter. And then the light source is 50 centimeters away. Hindi siya kalayo. Okay. And then the wall is 150 centimeters away from the light source. So from the light source to the wall is 150 centimeters. Now, how big is our shadow? So, nga ito gipangita karon is ang kini, which is base. This is our base, this is our altitude. And this is also altitude, and this is also base. So, as you can see, duha ka triangle. This is the, ako i-change sa ha. So, this is the small triangle. And this is our big triangle. So this is A1 and this is B1. So ang ato gipangita karon is ang B1. So you identify the variables. So ato A nga ri is 50 centimeters, that is our altitude, ang katason sa triangle. So 50 centimeters. B is equals to 10 centimeters, ang diameter kanina sa ato tool. And then 150 centimeters ang kini ang kalayon sa ato wall to the light source. So ato gipangita is ang kadak-on sa shadow. So set up the equation. So simply substitute lang the values. So 50 over 10 is equals to 150 over B1. So simplify lang siya. So cross multiply 50 times B1 is equals to 50 B1. Then 10 times 150 is equals to 1,500. And then since we want the value for our B1, we divide both sides by 50 para mahawa ng 50 niya tapad. And then we have here 1,500 over 50 is equals to 30 centimeters. Don't forget the value, the unit, centimeters, because our given here are all in centimeters. If lahi-lahi sila og units, then you have to convert them first. Then scenario 2, light coming from a point source is blocked by a circular opaque with the diameter of 5 centimeters. So we have here circular opaque. And this is said to have 5 centimeters diameter. This is our diameter. Ang radius na to is ang half na sa diameter, but since this is diameter, it is 5 centimeters. If the object is 10 centimeters from the source, I assume this is the light source, 10 centimeter from the light source. So that is actually ang ato altitude. So that is 10 centimeter and 20 centimeter from the screen. The same object is 20 centimeter. 20 centimeters. So compute the diameter of our shadow. So ang ato na sa gipangita is ang ato B1. So what's the value? And this is our A, and this is our B. As for our A1 naman, since ang ato distance sa kining circular opaque is 20 centimeter from the screen, and ang ato circular opaque is also 10 centimeter away from the source, so we actually have to add this because mo maning distance na 10, yung maning distance nga 20. So 10 plus 20 is equals to 30. So therefore, our A1 here is 30 centimeters. So we have identified our variables. So A is equals to 10, B is equals to 5, and then A1 is equals to 30 centimeters. So we set up the equation. So simply substitute lang. So mo na siyang itsura. And then we solve. Cross multiply lang. 10 times B1 is equals to 10 B1, and then 5 times 30 is equals to 150. Divide both sides by 10. Then cross that out. So our value for our B1 is equals to 15 centimeters. Okay, let's have another scenario. This time we'll be talking about the penumbra. Na natay penumbra nga rin na example. Okay. A circular table 4 feet in diameter. So, mo na siya nga to, circular table. Okay. Yeah. Nice table. So, 4 centimeters is below an extended source 1 feet in diameter. If the table is 6 feet from the light source, 6 feet down is siya. Okay, this is what it actually looks like. And 3 feet from the floor, so now sa value sa kuan ang ato table to the floor, which is 3 feet. 1 penumbra width is, so ang ato nagipangita is ang penumbra width. So we can actually draw another mga triangles here. Triangles don't just look like this, it can also look like actually this. So that is what we are going to do here now. So we can have it here. Kini. This is one triangle. So 1 feet ang iya base. 1 foot. 1 foot day. 1 foot. And then iya altitude is 6 feet. And then diretso man na siya. Then ang ato gipangita is kini. Since we have the value here 3 feet, so ang ato value nga is 3 feet the altitude. So we can actually have this as, let's say, A, and this is our base, this is our A1, and this is our B1, which we will find out. This is the penumbra. So as you can see, mga triangles gihapon siya. This is the penumbra because outside naman siya sa kini. So how do we compute this? So the same lang gihapon. Identify your variables. So we have identified that. B1 na ito gipangita. So we set up the equation. So A is equals to 6, and then B is equals to 1. And then we will solve now. So cross multiply. 6 times B1 is equals to 6 B1, and then 1 times 3 is equals to 3. So divide both sides by 6, and then we have the value of 0.5 foot. Yes, foot. That is our 1 penumbra width. Nganong gi-mention nga 1 penumbra width? Because sa example, naasad nga triangle na nag-create sad og penumbra. So, therefore, ay 0.5 nga rin na foot, 0.5 foot, na nasa tayo 0.5 foot nga rin nga penumbra each side. If the whole shadow is 6 feet, the umbral diameter is so nga to nagipangita karon is ang umbral diameter, ang kini. Okay, murag di na siya makitaan. Let's change color. Kini na sa nga to gipangita. If ang whole shadow, maning whole shadow considered na apil ang included ang kining penumbra, that is 6 feet, so we will compute for this umbral diameter. So simply i-minus lang nato ang ato kining total shadow sa kining duha ka penumbra na naa. So if you want to calculate, this is the formula for our total shadow. Total shadow is equals to umbra plus penumbra times 2. So given are the total shadow 6 feet, and then our calculated na penumbra kanina is ang 0.5 feet. So simply inani na siya itsura. So ang ato na gawas na answer is umbra is equals to 5 feet. So kung imo siya i-visualize, igo ra siya 6 feet minus duha ka kining penumbra, so minus 1 foot, so 5 feet. So that math checks out. So let's have another example with the penumbra. Basta naglibog pa ka. And then a square ceiling light is 2 feet wide. So square ceiling is 2 feet wide. It shines on a patient's chart 4 feet below the light. This is 4. Kinikay 2 ni ha, 2. And then the floor is 2 feet below the chart. So this is our gun. And then this is 2 feet. So calculate 1 penumbra width. So unsa na may itsura ni niya karon? Okay. So same triangles lang gyapon. But more gonna na. Then the penumbra here. So our altitude here is 4 feet. Yeah, ato base nga ri is ang kining 2 feet. Then here is 2 feet. That is our altitude 1. And then ato gipangita na sa is ang B1. Question mark. So we have identified our variables now. Then we can set up the equation. Simply substitute lang ang mga values. And then we can actually solve now. Cross multiply lang for B1. So divide both sides by 4. So that would take us 4 over 4 is equals to 1 foot. That is our 1 penumbra width. So now we can calculate the umbral width. So ang ato calculated na penumbra is 1 foot, and then the total shadow. If the total shadow width is on the floor is 5 feet, what is the umbral width? So 5 feet daw ni siya ang ring. So nasad nga ri 1 foot. Nasad nga ri 1 foot. Kining 5 feet na to kay mo na siyang entire including sa penumbra. Karon ang ato gipangita is ang kining umbra lang with ang kinang walay umbra, because umbra and penumbra are different species. So ato ni gipangita. So bana na ganit is 5 feet minus 1 so equals to 3. But if you want to have a formula, so we can actually have this. So umbra is equals to 3 feet. So I guess that ends for my discussion about the shadows. And again, a special thanks for Krys for helping me edit this presentation. Thank you very much to her, since without her dili na mahitabo ang kining na presentation, dili madali ang paghimo. And for the listeners, thank you very much for staying with me, and I hope you have learned anything. And that would be all. Thank you very much, and bye.